Hi there, welcome to today's vlog. Today we're going to talk about practice while I'm not actually practicing. The reason being is, well, twofold. One, Storm Kira has been wreaking her havoc in the UK, which has meant that I haven't really had a decent night's sleep for 3 nights because the nature of my house being where it is, it's quite exposed, and the wind has been battering the house through the night and waking me up at all sorts of hours. The second thing is, I'm not someone who really enjoys sitting in a room on their own, and obviously you've got to do that to practice, but today I've got a little bit of admin I need to do. I needed to run some errands. It's a beautiful day. You've seen the beautiful blue sky, and I've got to be honest, the thought of spending a whole day sat on my own in a room terrifies me. Now, it's not that I don't like being on my own. I mean, I've just been working on something for Valentine's Day for Instagram and also for something else. I'm not going to tell you guys too much about that. It's just kind of the thought of being in here on my own all the time. It's a little bit, as for an extrovert, someone on the Myers-Briggs personality, I get my energy from being around people. But one of the strange things is about being a musician is that you need to do the work in here so that as an extrovert personality, when you get out on stage and you're being yourself in front of thousands of people, it's natural and fine, but you've got to have the skill on the instrument or singing or playing, whatever, to be able to get out there in front of all those people. Yet I've got colleagues who are more introverted in their personalities who find going into the practice room not a problem, absolute no issue. Going on stage in front of a few thousand people, terrifying. Being given the microphone in front of a jazz audience, terrifying. And I've noticed it, when I've been putting on gigs at Saffron Hall, some of the guys who are fantastic players, terrible on the microphone. And it's this kind of thing, isn't it, in terms of what we expect from performers. If you're going to be a performer, you need to be up there. You need to be very, very good on your instrument, but you have to be able to communicate with the audience as well. And I sometimes feel with musicians is that we get jealous of others' personalities. I get jealous of those who are perfectly comfortable to go into the practice room for 6 or 7 hours and practice all day long. And I know colleagues of mine who have said to me, and friends of mine said, they're jealous in a way about the way I can be on stage, and like I can do for you guys, I can just share ideas, I can just put them out there without a moment's thought. It just comes out, there we go. It's just talking, it's chatting. I realise I'm in a room on my own, alone right now, but at least 1,000 people are going to watch this video probably, and that's amazing, but weird at the same time. I guess what I would say is, you have to try and find a way to make your personality work for you if you're going to play music. So if you're a more extroverted character who loves performing, you need to be able to find a way to be able to practice that doesn't intimidate you too much. And likewise, if you're a very introverted performer, you need to find a way, an introverted performer who likes to practice alone, has no problem practicing alone, you need to be able to find a way out of it the other side. And I guess the balance is there. And I know before you all fill the comments in that Myers-Briggs isn't perfect. It isn't the perfect personality test. And the best people are the best people, we're all different, aren't we? We've all got, as that advert says, I can't remember what it's for now, but there's 7 billion different types of normal. Because we've all got different traits, we've all got different things. And that's kind of what I'm trying to get at to you today is, for some of you, you might be more like me. You might find it much more difficult to go into a practice room on your own, but others of you might find it fine in the practice room, but the thought of going out there and performing in front of people is just, how can I do it? And there are other sides to it as well. I've struggled, I've said before, with perfectionism. One of the things, I didn't do singing as much as I wanted to, is that I realised that if I kept on doing the singing, I was offered the chance to go and sing with my singing teachers' groups and things, was that my perfectionism from playing the saxophone would creep into, my singing. Likewise, I've said before with photography, go back and watch this vlog from ages ago. One of the things I liked about my photography, I still do, I have now had some lessons from photographers, but one of the things I said in that blog was that I didn't want to take lessons with photography because I enjoyed making the mistakes, and I'm aware of how much a perfectionist I can be and how much the perfectionism can ruin what I want to do. And I guess if we're honest with each other, and maybe I'm talking to you today, maybe you're in that situation where you're saxophone playing or whatever else, other instruments you play, whatever, your perfectionism is killing your creativity, because what you want to be able to do is to just play, you know, is to get out there and just make music. And sometimes you just got to accept that whatever you've got is what you've got. And I guess on the flip side, you know, it sometimes can be the satisfaction of sharing it with other people can be the most important thing. Not sure how well this is coming out on the video, all these cables, but you'd have thought with the advances in wireless technology over the last 25-30 years that someone, and probably one of you will link it now I've said it, but someone would have got around to inventing some wireless MIDI cables, because I always end up with masses of cables in studios whenever I've got a MIDI set up. Now I did this because what I wanted to do was for a little project for someone, I wanted to use the sampled Steinway piano on Logic rather than trying to mic up my Yamaha U1. Pointing to it, but you lot can't see it. It's there. Because miking a piano is a big old job, especially not right, you've got to move the piano out of the way, all that kind of business. Speaking of moving, I'm on the move. I'm going to be moving back towards where I used to live, a little bit closer to Cambridge, not as much in the countryside, which will be really, really good. I'll let you know more about that as that happens, but it's going to mean I'm going to take another little break in the vlog for a couple of weeks, so please bear with me. I will try and knock out a couple of videos if I can, but it's just kind of going into another stage of craziness. But one of the places I'm moving to, it's closer to where the children's school is. There's more going on, there's shops, there's life. This has been nice. This has been a nice little haven for the last 6 months. In principle, it was great thinking, you know, I could basically make music and noise whenever I wanted to, as I said in my first vlog here. But actually it's far too isolating for me, as I've been talking about with the way my personality is. I need to be around bustle and life and things going on. Otherwise I just feel like, is there anybody out there? So that's what's going on with that. Anyway, let's do a Q&A vlog next time, and then we'll probably take a break. So please do send me your Q&As. Let me know if there's also any other questions you have about setups and things a few of you have been asking. If you are wanting to know what setups I'm using, everything's detailed below in the description. You can just go show more on the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're not already. Check out my last vlog here. This is what I was up to this time last year. Let's see you the weekend.